Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the forgotten stories of Indonesia's independence heroes you've never heard about. Forget Marvel, forget Hollywood. These people didn't have capes, just guts, sweat, and sometimes really questionable survival plans. And trust me, if you were thrown back in time to their world, you'd probably wouldn't last past breakfast. So, before we jump into the chaos, smash that like button if you love hidden history, and drop in the comments which city you're tuning in from. Now, dim the lights, grab your favorite snack, and let's time travel together. You wake up in 1945, not in glamorous Jakarta, but in a small fishing village where the ocean smells like salt, rotting fish, and revolution. Everyone's whispering about independence, but nobody's whispering quietly enough because the Japanese soldiers nearby don't exactly hand out participation trophies. Enter Maria Walanda Maramis. Yeah, not a name you'll see on your school's history wall, but she was basically the OG of women's empowerment in North Sulawesi. Imagine trying to teach women about education and rights while the colonial government was like, yeah, how about no? She was fearless. While some people today panic if their Wi-Fi drops for 2 minutes, Maria was facing down systems designed to erase her voice entirely. Now that you've survived the salty air and side eyes from soldiers, let's head east. You stumble into the Maluku Islands, where the water is clear, the sun is brutal, and there's Thomas Matulesi, better known as Kapitan Patimura. But here's the twist. Most people know him for his fiery rebellion in 1817, long before the 1945 proclamation. He was leading farmers and fishermen against a European empire that thought nutmeg was worth more than human lives. And if you're thinking, cool, sounds like Assassin's Creed. Well, yeah, except instead of parkour, it was more like barefoot jungle treks with rusty weapons and zero respawn button. Fast forward, because time travel is free on this channel. You hear the sound of bamboo being sharpened. No, not for TikTok crafts. We're talking bamboo spears, the most low-budget weapon of the independence fight. This is where you meet Laksamana Malahayati, the first female admiral in Indonesian history. Picture this. 16th century, she's commanding warships with a crew of widows known as the Inong Balay. Imagine being a Portuguese sailor, thinking you're about to raid some easy coastal town, and suddenly 50 angry widows come at you with cannons. Pirates of the Caribbean wishes it had this plot twist. Now, let's take a darker turn. You're in Aceh, and the air reeks of gunpowder, sweat, and fear. Here's Chutnyak Din, an older woman by the time of her resistance, half blind, but still rallying troops against Dutch forces. Half blind! Think about it, most of us can't even find our glasses in the morning, and she was leading guerrilla warfare. And then there's I Gusting Ngudarai in Bali. Not the airport, yes, he's the guy the airport's named after. In 1946, he led the Puputan Margarana, a last-stand battle where he and his outnumbered forces fought until death rather than surrender. Imagine Fortnite, but the last man standing rule is taken literally. Spoiler, nobody survived, but their sacrifice became a fire that fueled the independence movement. You can almost hear it now, the clashing of steel, the whispers of strategy in candlelit huts, the stomping of boots on village soil. These heroes weren't polished textbook legends. They were messy, flawed, painfully human. People with families, fears, and probably really bad rice rations. But they carved out a space for independence with whatever they had, words, weapons, or just pure stubbornness. So the next time you walk through an airport, see a street sign, or glance at a school textbook, ask yourself, how many names are still missing? How many stories are still waiting to be dug up? And here's my challenge to you. If you could sit down and have coffee with one of these forgotten heroes, who would it be? And what would you ask them? Drop your answers in the comments, because I want to know which story hit you hardest. And if you're still here, congrats! You've officially survived colonial Java without dying of dysentery.